In this week's Signal Emitted, It's.io is shadowbanning project, OpenXR vendor plugin released version 4.1, Material Maker version 1.4 is coming soon, and of course there's our creator spotlight, game of the week and tip of the week. Welcome to Signal Emitted, your weekly news show about Godot related news. I'm Voylin and let's go directly into the first topic. It's.io is shadow banning people, but for a good reason and a bad reason at the same time. So It's.io is shadow banning and even removing games from its store. But why? Well, let's go into that because It's.io released a statement about this, of why they are doing it. And of course it has to do with some kind of organization and some kind of payment provider. But before you get your pitchforks and torches out, let's go over the statement to understand who's actually affected by this, because chances are you are not affected by this or will never be affected by this. So It's.io has been de-indexing all adult non-safe for work games content. This all because of their payment processors demanding changes due to the organization Collective Shout, who raised concerns after No Mercy was uploaded to It's.io. Even though the game got banned back in April, the organization Collective Shout still launched the campaign not only against It's.io but also against Steam. So Steam is also actually kind of affected by this. As mentioned, this affects only adults not safe for work games and content, and due to how rapidly the situation developed, they basically had no time to notify creators in advance. It's.io is currently working on meeting the requirements of those payment processors, and until their review is complete, they cannot really do too much. For future releases of adult, not safe for work games and content, there will be more steps which creators need to confirm before uploading it to It's.io, so they are certain that the new guidelines are met. During the reviewing of the currently shadow banned games, the ones that do not fit these new requirements criteria will be deleted from the platform. People affected by this will get notified by mail, but this is a bad thing for people who do this as like their sole income source. But even though this is now about not safe for work games, this could also affect other kind of games with more gore than normal games, too much violence. Things will keep getting worse if payment providers keep making more and more requirements and like limitations. And then on a more positive note, GoZen, my video playback add-on for Godot, reached version 8.1. With the 8.0 release, it finally became possible to add and play videos directly from your res folder. So you can add videos directly to your game and have them play. You don't need to pack them separately. You can now add them to your project directly. A link to this project will be in the description. It's open source, so yeah. And then for the creator spotlight, for this week I present to you Octodemy. After having a few 2D creators in the past couple of spotlights, it's time for some 3D targeted channels. Octodemy is a YouTube channel focused on mainly 3D tutorials, with every now and then a 2D tutorial. His tutorials range from working in the editor to working with the editor, by explaining script templates, importing models, creating plugins and so on. In short, if you're a Godot developer, you might want to subscribe to Octodemy, as his videos do give good value, especially for 3D creators. And then some news from the Godot team themselves. The OpenXR vendor plugin is now at version 4.1.0. OpenXR support is built into Godot, but this vendor plugin allows for more vendor-specific functionality for devices such as the ones from HTC, Meta, Pico and so on. Some changes which this update brings are switching to the Chronos loader, which is supported on all Android headsets. And this is good news, as this allows for the change to be added to Godot directly. And it's currently being worked upon right now in this PR. So this PR basically will put the Chronos loader inside of Godot itself. Meta's dynamic resolution feature also got added, which should decrease discomfort and nausea, which tends to happen with these kind of virtual reality headsets. Hybrid apps can now be created for Meta headsets, with other vendors being in the works. You can now disable extensions from the OpenXR plugin, so you only have access to the ones you need. And yes, this article says 4.0 and I said version 4.1, as they have already added a new update 3 days ago, which has some extra stuff available. By example, there's support for Meta's full body tracking and environment depth, which will be great for augmented reality, mixed reality applications. That honestly is quite interesting. So yeah, all by all, pretty good news for people developing for headsets. And the build size is now also only 23.3 megabytes, whilst the previous version, 3.0, was around 194 megabytes. So yeah, more features in a smaller package. I like it. And then we have Material Maker, the tool for, well, creating materials, making materials. Material Maker is soon seeing its 1.4 release. For people who don't know what Material Maker is, it's a kind of open source alternative to Substance Designer. It is one of the best open source tools out there to make procedural materials, and it's made with Godot. One of the biggest changes is that the code base switched from Godot 3 to Godot 4 during this update, and to be more precise, Godot 4.4.1. This 1.4 release has been worked upon since December 2023. So yeah, it has been quite some time and it has a ton of updates. Performance improvements thanks to Godot 4, because now there is 32-bit buffer support. A new mesh map node, SDF nodes and param nodes have been added. Panels can now be moved and they are dockable. There's also GLTF support for previews, and there is an improved export workflow. Because of the rewrite to Godot 4, the creators saw it as an opportunity to rewrite some of the important parts of Material Maker. And these kind of rewrites, they tend to take time, especially if you want to improve upon the previous code that you had and adjusting to the Godot 4 code. It has been over a year. But with release candidate 2, that has been released recently, it's very likely that it will come out very, very soon. The problem with these kind of big updates is that testing and bug fixing, they do take a lot of time. So it will not surprise me if it will take another month or maybe 2. But there will be a link in the description below, so check out Material Maker. And then for this week's Game of the Week, I have a kind of special one. The moment that I saw the trailer, I was completely sold. Engraving is a first-person horror adventure game in which you navigate a forest which reshapes itself. By mapping your surroundings and solving puzzles, you need to navigate your way to unveil all the secrets and find an escape. No weapons, just a map and ink. This game has been in the works for the past 2 years, and it is a horror game in which you have to draw on your maps to navigate. It is something that I find so interesting. It's kind of new to me, and the art style also looks quite great. And the game can be wishlisted on Steam right now. So give it a wishlist if you want to stay up to date with this whole process of this game, because a demo is coming soon. And for this tip of the week, I present to you callable references. Did you know that you can pass functions as arguments? Okay, so let's have a quick look at this test project. So I have a button and I have a script. The button has a custom signal called test callable, and I connected the script node to that button. What does that do? It emits a signal with as argument a callable. So for making a callable, you define the place where the function is and then the function in form of a string. As you can see here, this test function just prints it works. And when we take a look at the scripts, well, basically the other class, the other nodes here. This one is connected to the signal, so on button test callable. We just take this argument, this callable object, and we call it. So if I run this project and I press the button, you will see it works. And this is how you can pass functions from one script to other places in your code. This is just one of the many ways. Now this might look like a very small feature, or maybe you already know about callables, but being able to pass references from functions to other functions and other scripts can be quite helpful in certain situations. So hopefully this tip is kind of helpful, and yeah, try it out and implement it in your own projects to see if it could improve your current code. Anyway, a big thank you to all my Ko-fi supporters for supporting Signal Emitted, GoZen, my channel, and everything that I do. Thank you very much to these supporters. Without them, I really could not keep doing this. And yeah, if you want to stay up to date with the latest Godot news, please subscribe to the channel, because there is a new episode every Friday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.